So welcome back to the end of another very interesting day and another very interesting week here with AMC. AMC Entertainment this week has seen its shares tumble. In the past 5 days we're down over 27%, and even in the past day, according to Google, down by 70 cents, that's about 8% from where we started off this morning. Now there has been news which has obviously influenced that, and that is the company announcing a $350 million share offering, and we spoke about this in enough detail this morning, but obviously with a lot of people hoping that this stock was going to see a short squeeze, this has kind of caused a lot more confusion to that. And like I've said, whilst AMC may be in a lot of people's eyes a good long-term investment, and I may even be able to get on board with that idea, for a short squeeze, it's news like this that we just don't want to see. So I think a lot of the retail crowd for AMC just see this as a big, hit in the face, a big down side for the potential moves in the stock, and I think that has influenced a lot of the downtrend that we've seen in the past couple of days. But what does this mean, and what will we see next? Well, first let's have a look at the general trend in the market for today and in the past week. Now today has actually been a really good day in the markets as a whole. We're looking at the S&P being down by, or rather up I should say, by 1.5%. When you come down to have a look at the figures for the Dow Jones, that's up by 1.15, the Nasdaq is up by 2, and the Russell 2000 is up by 1. So not the greenest day that we've seen, but in a week where I said, I think this is going to be a big definitive moment, in the sense that if the markets start to tank, this could start to affect a few of the stocks that we look at. The fact that we've seen markets actually hit higher highs today is a good sign for people who are bullish on the stock market right now and bullish on specific stocks. But despite the general trend, AMC has not been able to see any gains. And I think a lot of that, again, just boils down to the news that we've seen. Now this is really disappointing, but the question is then, what does this week really mean for AMC investors, and for the future of the company? Now what I'd say is, I think we're going to see lower lows, if you ask me. I know people might not like that. The video that I made this morning, I thought it was going to get more hate than it did. And I think people are, unfortunately, and it is a shame because I'd love to see AMC do well, but I think people are generally coming to terms with the fact that, news like this isn't going to be helping us if we want to see a short squeeze. So maybe the play is over for that reason. If you ask me, it is. And again, that's why I sold out of my AMC shares some time ago. Now, for a more long-term investment though, we could still be looking at a fairly solid company. But if I was looking to get into this one for any reason, I'd probably leave it a bit. When AMC starts to tank, starts to drop, it does it by a lot. We don't really see small moves with this stock ever. When it rockets, it does rocket. Look at this, up by 37%. But the inverse is also true. When it starts to drop, it drops quick like this, 79% in a matter of days. And even when looking at where we've come down recently, that's a further 26% drop. So AMC stock, it's one of those ones where, if you get in at the right moment, you can sometimes catch a good move, whether it be actually shorting the stock, which by the way, I'm not going to hate on anybody doing that because people have to make their money back, and however they want to do that is fine. But then again, we have these other days where we see gains like this, 15% in this short period. So what I'd say is, for a potential trade, whether that be for a swing trade or a very short-term trade, there could still be a lot of opportunity for people looking to go long. On the short side, I think, well, in my opinion, and of course I'm not an advisor, and I'm just sharing my opinion, but I think, as has been the case for a while with AMC now, a lot of the money has been on the short side because, let's face it, look at this from even a fundamental standpoint or even a short squeeze potential standpoint, we have millions of people who have AMC shares who are probably not going to get a lot of their money back because the stock's not going to hit $200, $300, $400 really anytime soon, and that's where a lot of people are locked in at. So if that's the case, we have a lot of people who are arguably starting to acknowledge the fact that, hey, this stock is down from its highs. People who bought in here have lost basically all of their money, and there's not really much upside coming with the stock anytime soon, especially with offerings and stuff like that. So I think a lot of people are starting to, question their positions in AMC, which could result in more selling from the from the retail side, which could have a further negative impact on the share price. So if I was looking to go long, I'd definitely be waiting a few days to see what happens. I think drops like what we're seeing this week could continue for the next week or so. And again, like I said, I don't like to admit it, and I don't say it with any glee at all. But I think for a lot of people now, some money in AMC could potentially be on the short side. I mean, it's not something that everyone wants to do. And it's not something that I do myself. I do not short AMC. I haven't shorted AMC. But we are investors, right? And I think what the whole AMC thing should have taught everybody is that, we are investors. We did not invest for a company itself. Yeah, it was a cute idea, but look what happened. A lot of people got screwed over by management. A lot of people got screwed over by the CEO in a way. And, he did his best to keep the company afloat, which is fine, and I will agree with that. But obviously that's not what people were investing for. So in this market now, I guess it's about making money. And I guess it always should have been. And a lot of us, I will admit, got blindsided by that at certain points. But I think whilst AMC is going to be a very interesting stock to keep covering in the next week or two, I just think the whole squeeze momentum, I think it's done. And I think if anything, we could be seeing, downside 5-10% in the next week. We'll have to see what happens though, but I'll keep you guys updated with my opinions, with my findings, with the news that comes out, all that sort of good stuff and potentially bad stuff, because, we are going to give an honest opinion here. But thank you for watching. I'd like to see you guys in our next video, but thank you for seeing this one. And again, I hope to see you very soon. Goodbye for now.